I
Welcome
miss
back.
being on the lot for an after fish show on the lot. I miss those days. Need to get back to a show.
Welcome back to the AfterFish After Show. I am the
Woo
Great
woo.
Went. I am joined by T. It is night 2 of Albany. So I think a lot of emotion for everyone yesterday for the band too. What's your big thought for this evening?
Saturday night show. We asked last night, you asked last night if we thought it would get better. And, I got to say, first set, I was a little kind of all over the place. And I was actually thinking, wow, Kev might have had a point last night. Like, I kind of liked last night's show, kind of the way this one's going right now. Last night better. But it picked up towards the end. And I thought the second set really was what you want out of a Saturday night show, as far as not a lot of deep jams, but some good we'll talk about it, some good breakdowns. I want to get some of your opinions on that second set, because I know you like it when songs kind of fall apart and shit, and I thought we had a little bit of that going on and stuff. So, but yeah, good Saturday night show. I'm sure everybody in attendance had a blast, and good follow-up to last night.
Possum to open. I like Possum to open. I know it's usually reserved as a set closer in the encore spot, but I think it's a great way to open up. It's hopped up. It's like I always say, it gets you out of your seat. Everybody's up. Possum, yes, it's going to be a party.
I always like it as long as it has a nice long intro to it. Like as long as you get that build into it is always fun. So wherever that falls in the set, I'm a big fan of. But to your point, opening a show with it is one of those statement songs like this, we're gonna get down tonight, like, yeah, let's rock. I think also when it closes a set or is in the encore, it's always fun, because then it's sort of that closer that we always like, that like leaves you going, yes, Possum for sure. So yeah, anywhere you play it is awesome, and it's just such a great fucking rocker. So great way to start the show. Great 8-minute intro. Loved it.
And then I felt betrayed. I felt like all the political capital, so to speak, that you had gotten with Possum. Sigma Oasis is just not a 2-song banger. It's slow, it's lilting, and
You didn't like the jam though? You didn't like that 11 minutes in there?
Yeah, the jam, it had a nice little jam in it.
It did
I
have a
mean,
nice little jam for the 2 slot.
right.
I thought it had a nice jam.
If you remove the Sigma Oasis and it put it, later in the set or something like that, I think it stands as a good Sigma Oasis. I'm just saying, at the moment, I was like, already, this is.
Yeah, I hear you. It's kind of yeah. I liked it in this spot though, because I kind of thought that jam sort of is what you want. Like it kind of kickstarted it, like you got that rock and Possum. I see your point though. Like when it starts, you're a little bit like, oh, it's kind of like, oh, now we got to build up to getting back up to that point.
And they had nowhere to go but up, back on the train. Fantastic jam. Again, that's another one of those. It's an easy, just mid-tempo rock shuffle. And I was feeling good about that.
Yeah, it does its job. It's like you said, it's a shuffle song, right? Like you can't help but not kind of groove a little bit to it, and then with that and Sigma and even with Possum, you got a half hour of music right there, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like in the opening slot, you're already a half hour in with those 3 songs. But yeah, I mean, I was always a big fan of Train back before it got played so much. Now I feel like it gets a lot of love, which is fine because it's one of those songs that does its job. But I liked it when it was a little bit rarer and it felt like, ooh, we're getting it back on the train tonight. Cool, So it does its job though. It was fine for where it was tonight, and I thought it fit well after Sigma.
It does do its job, definitely. So then we had a bust out of sorts, I guess 22 in South Carolina in the summer. Tim was at that show. Is the last time they played it in the encore slot. I like the song. It's a catchy song. I mean, it's a slower one, but at this point, a half hour in, like you're saying, I'm good with the slow song there,
Yeah, right. It's about that time for it, and getting something like this that's a little bit of a bust out is fun. It's not your typical.
That's why I went to Albany. That's why I would have been going to Albany, was to catch something like that.
Something like this, and I agree. And for where it was and what it did in 6 minutes per, I'll take bust outs on like choices like that any day of the week over your standard like whatever you get in some of those slots sometimes.
They can substitute out Shade, just do nothing instead going forward. I'm on board.
Let's do it. Let's make a note. Yes, that's a great plan.
Somebody let Mike know. Um, a solid Stash. I mean, Stash has had a really high batting average for 4.0. And this one, I mean, it didn't break any new ground, but they got to all the usual spaces. It felt good. They're very comfortable in it.
Yeah.
So thumbs up.
I think that's the biggest thing about Stash these days is it has gotten so much more play that they're comfortable with it, right? Like it doesn't have the flubs like sometimes it used to when it was kind of one of those rarities or bust outs or like not played all the time and kind of got a little mixed.
The smaller, they have the smaller pool of songs now, and I've always said that leads to better performances, even though people like me are like, that was the 8th theme they did this year. Yeah,
Right.
but they were all really solid because they played it 8 times.
Exactly. And they all expanded on each one and each one got different and unique. And so you can't really complain about that because it is that. But yeah, and I think Stash kind of falls into that too, where yes, they do play it. It has its moments through each era, I think, where it gets a lot of play time and gets those moments, and then it sort of like falls off a little bit and you don't hear it as much. And then that's when they play it and you're kind of like, oh,
how many people got hooked off of the Stash One Alive one?
Yeah.
How many people, listened to that, heard that, and were like, oh, I could get into that. And it just
I think a live one did a lot to hook people though. Like that was the only thing that was out back then on CD. And it was kind of like Without a Net too, like how many people got hooked on Althea and some of those songs because of Without a Net and that Eyes with Branford and shit like that became your barometer and like your introduction or your beginning phase of that. So I totally agree. A live one definitely. And that Stash is fantastic on there. And that definitely was one of those that brought you in.
Right. Trey has never let go of bouncing and he never will.
And I'm fine with it. I like bouncing. It always puts a smile on my face.
I mean, you don't even have time to take a pee.
No,
you just gotta ride it out.
But that's what's so fun about it. It's 3 minutes of joy. It's 3 minutes of old school PHiSH about what PHiSH is about in 1.0, right. And it's so much fun. And they can play that in Contact forever, and I will never get sick of hearing those songs because it's just fun. And that's who PHiSH is. And bouncing is just it's a good it's in that palate cleanser stage, right? Like there's so many worse songs you could get in that like slow down sort of funky fun moment there, and I'll take a bouncing any day. So man, I didn't pee. Good for you, Mikes.
Right. Tube failed the launch again. Got close, got interesting again, and then Trey. I don't know if he just that's what it is to him now. It's 8 minutes. That's all he ever remembers it being. But it feels like that's the world it lives in, and I always feel like this is the one. This is going to be the one. They're going to double digit this one. Nope. Sorry.
And it's too bad because Tube is definitely one of those songs that deserves, we always talk about the compact jams and how we'll get into that second set because there's a few of those that's coming up in the second set and how sometimes the compact jams work for certain songs because you don't need to expand too much on them. Tube is not that song. Tube needs the extended jam, in my opinion, because you want that middle section to blow you away, come back. And then when they re-enter, because that re-entry can be so awesome after a massive jam to just come back into. So when you kind of miss that, 8 minutes is a little too short for that. And if you're going to compact it, like you said, give me 10. Give me 10, right? At least.
You got to pull double digits.
Right. 10 at the minimum, 12 to 15, 16. Now we're talking. Like, let's get there.
This is what, okay? When it comes to Tube, size matters.
I agree. Length, girth, size, it all matters with Tube.
The Bathtub was respectable. It got really fast before they dropped back into it. And it was like,
well, remember some of those we listened to of the early days too, like even the early gens when they were really fast before they had even formulated what that song was going to be. It kind of reminded me of that. I had that same thought when I was listening to it. I was like, oh man, this sounds like
Train.
Yeah, not even 1.0, like 0.5 era when we were listening to a couple of those that were just like ripping. Yeah, the beta era of like those songs. And Jen was one of those that just fucking ripped. And you're like, is this even Jen? That's so weird. So this one reminded me of that. It's good to hear them do that sometimes, right? Like sometimes you need that. In 14 minutes, there's where you want to land with those Jens. Like that's where I like that sweet spot to be. 15 minutes, that's great. Yeah.
I love it.
Perfect. And then the set closer more, which
weird.
Yeah. Not Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Some people love
If
that
you're
song.
gonna
Some people
do
like,
it, there you go. You know what? I would have gone to the bathroom and been back at my seat before the lights came off.
and then you could have enjoyed set break, right? Like not having to pee and just relax for set break, right? It's kind
No
of
lines, no.
we always, yeah, like we always say, like antelope, or you want a rock and closer. Sometimes maybe you want that to be there so you can take a piss break early and be back and like enjoy the set break and not be in line. Yeah. Uh huh. That's funny. And only 8 minutes, which is kind of an odd, eh, shorter version of like a closer anyway, right? Like an 8 minute, you're out with this more, and so you don't even have time to really get that rockin' jam in there. It's just sort of like, all right, must be something more than this. Sure.
Yeah, there it is. All right,
And that was
so
the first set.
tomorrow, we're gonna do this again 15 minutes after. If you're a member, we do the member hang. If you were there today, you got to see Weekend Walk's internet fail, and yeah, he figured it out though. See,
That's
we
why
we
Tim is not on
troubleshot.
tonight. We didn't want to have a janky internet for you people because we care too much about our product to put out a shitty
We do,
product. So we didn't
we
do it tonight,
do
but he's
care.
going to get his internet fixed and be back ready to go tomorrow night. So he will be
Right.
back.
So next Wednesday we'll be we're gonna do a Halloween live. So come check that out. When we get into November, Low Faber is gonna be on one night. I haven't nailed that down exactly yet. And I think we're gonna bring back a Wook Club in honor of Phil and do a Q show, but we haven't decided. So if anybody wants to throw in the comments later or in the chat any Phil Les shows that stick out, we want to pay
We
the
want to
man a
do,
little tribute.
yeah, we want to do a Phil show. And I can't wait for the Low Favor to come back interview to come back on, man. Like God Street Wine is on fire right now. So that's going to be a lot of fun to talk to Low again. God, I love when he comes on. So that'll be great. And one bit of housekeeping for um, some of you big Taper's Choice fans out there. I'm working on getting
Ooh.
the anniversary of Taper's Choice Ball is tomorrow and Monday, I believe. So I'm gonna try and release both of those, night 1 and night 2, for Halloween this year in the next couple days of those
Right.
shows. So that'll be good. And then some of you should get on the Taper's Choice boards in the forum that Llama created, because we have some big
On
rumor news.
Discord. That would be on
Or
Discord.
the Discord. Get in our Discord. We have some big rumor news to tell everybody about. If you've been a little sad about not catching the boys this year with only 2 shows, that may be remedied very quickly in January of next year. So join us
Basically,
and let's talk.
you just
We'll
blew
see.
your
We'll
headline. You
see.
blew the wad there.
Maybe early 2025. We'll
Early.
see.
So odd opener.
Ugh, man,
Not
it's
sure.
funny.
I'm a Caspian guy. I am a Caspian guy. Just short and as the opener, a little strange.
I am surprised you're such a Caspian guy. That always shocks me. I used to really love the song, and then it just really fell off for me. And I thought it was funny the other night with Scott Marks that he was like, mentioned this as one of those songs he'd rather hear something else in place of. And I was like, wow, yes. Like I couldn't agree with you more on that. Just like at Mondegreen when we got it. And I was like, oh man, a Caspian. Like, really? I was surprised it came in here, because usually it's my pee break song in the second set when it lands. So it was kind of an odd choice to like put it as the opener. And 6 minutes, it's one of those, like we always talk about, Trey just kind of feel like the 8-minute Piper or something, where he's like, oh, I just got to get this Piper in there so we can play it. Like it felt like a weird
They lost
truncated
interest.
Caspian.
I
Yeah.
feel like they lost interest quickly. And I mean, not along down with disease, but I think you're going to go with the compact, right? It was not a note wasted in there.
Nothing wasted. Like it again, like in my notes, I wrote firing jam, but very compact. Felt like it could have really expanded out, and kept going instead of dropping into the Ruby waves where it did. I did appreciate the transition into it. I thought that was decent, but man, it's just, it's such a, you're in this great disease jam, and then you drop into just some of the worst lyrics that they have, that you're just like, oh god, really? And then of course once you get out of the lyrics, we always talk about the jam's awesome. Like, and here's another one of those that
Tonight I feel like Trey was really channeling Garcia, because he started doing the runs. They got into that spacey thing like you'd get in 90s Dead, with the out of In a Dark Star, or into a drums jam, where it was just all built off the rhythm. And I was like, man, this is like so cool. This is the greatest thing ever. And then it was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, no, we're back. Oh.
Well, to that point, like I thought it got a little dark too, you know, like we kind of experimented in that shadow zone, that sort of like darker, evil area of it before we fell back into, like you said, the dun dun dun, and you're like, oh. And I'm surprised it was 16 minutes because it didn't feel like it. It felt like a shorter jam than that to me, but
that spacey section really ate up quite a few minutes, and it was interesting. It kept
it was
you,
very
you know.
interesting. I loved it. I love that spacey because that also set up basically the next 3 songs, right? Like
Right.
they all had that breakdown. I
Mhm.
honestly felt like Fuego was the jam of the night, in my opinion. Like I just loved where that thing went. I like that song more and more.
Fuego, yeah.
I've always been a fan of it. I love the intro. Just it's so much fun. I love when the lyrics hit. It's just such a stupid, silly song with the lyrics, and we got the Viking Warriors line, which is always awesome. But then when that jam went, dude, the beeps and bloops came back. We got a little breakdown. The lights were fantastic. Like I really, really enjoyed that Fuego tonight. Like I thought that was cool. And then I'll let you talk about it in a second, but I just want to talk about the drop into What's the Use, because I thought that breakdown and where it was going, I was like, where are we going here? Like, are we going to go back into Fuego? Are we going to build it back up? Like, what's the thing? What's the Use was perfect. Sometimes that song hits so perfectly, like where they place it, and this was one of those moments. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about Fuego and What's the Use.
Yeah, the Fuego. I love that. Whatever we call it, the industrial, very angular guitar. And Trey went into again just a riff over and over. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't long melodic things. It was very, you know, I don't want to say angry, but robotic. I don't know. And I was loving that so much. And then, like you said, I personally feel like What's the Use they could do every night. It doesn't have words, and it's a perfect cool down song for it. And I've always found it where they get really creative because it is dark and slow, kind of like Victim was with the Dead. They would get those weird jams out of the end of Victim, because I guess it's in a minor key. I wouldn't know that, but I'm assuming that's, and the silence when it gets completely silent, because people don't realize to yell. They're like, wait, are they supposed to be silent?
Right. Like, wait. And like I say it every time we hear it, it just reminds me so much of like 90s Steve Vai, like that vibe of that guitar, like that sound. And I always appreciate it. It's just such a cool, yeah. You know, it's such a great cool down, perfect placement in between a Fuego and a Golden Age tonight. Like just really, really done. We always talk about Setlist construction. I thought this was a great.
That was my highlight, that Fuego into What's the Use, I think, for
oh yeah, I
show.
agree. I thought the Fuego was the best jam, and then that little section of it with What's the Use was fantastic. Like I thought that was a really great 20 minutes, 30 minutes of music there. Fantastic.
Right. Of all the covers, I feel like what you were saying earlier about, you know, it used to be cool when it was every once in a while. I feel like every couple shows we're getting a Golden Age now. Cool song. I wasn't feeling it right there. And we're going to go, I was like, oh no, we're going to go into the fourth quarter thing, but they pulled it out with the hood.
They did. I was surprised though, like where, you know, Golden Age has become, there's so many good like big versions of it, right? Like obviously the Vegas version, that's, you know, tier 1 level, always will be the champion of that. So you always feel like everything's not really chasing that because you'll never really catch it. But there's other ones underneath that, probably like the 2 through 5, 6, 7 versions of that are so good that it's hard sometimes to sort of judge it against things. You have to just sort of accept it for what it is these days and hope that like you're going to get some kind of cool jam in there and just enjoy the funk and the beat and the audience participation where you get it in that song and whatnot. 11 minutes, I thought it was decent, but again, I thought the cool thing about this version was it had another total breakdown in it, right? Like it had that whole like Ruby Way started it, Fuego really got into it, and then they did it again in Golden Age, which anytime they do that in a jam, I'm a huge fan of. I know you like that too when they break it down and come back out of it and stuff. So I appreciated that a lot, where as opposed to it just being a straight jam like they do a lot of times with it. So getting that new flavor in there was really cool, and what I appreciate about it. But it does help to do that too, because to your point, they play it more and more. So like you want different versions of it. You want to feel different things in it and see different things. So yeah. And then the Lonely Trip, like I just, it is what it is. I don't mind it sometimes. This was not where I wanted it. Like I was not ready for that there, because you already had What's the Use as a slowdown. So it felt like What's the Use, Golden Age back up, Lonely Trip back down. And as the second to last song, why can't we rage these last 3 songs? Like ride it out on a rage. Like why do we have to go down like that? Like come on.
Yeah, it's a swayer. I guess isn't my favorite, but if I put that up against Sigma Oasis, I'd take the Lonely Trip.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I'm surprised. Sigma has a jam in it though. Like, and I wish they jam it more. I wish we'd get like a 20-minute Sigma.
They did that Lonely Trip at Dick's a few years ago that had a huge jam in it. It was like the second song in the second set. That was fantastic.
I think the only good thing about it here was you had 6 minutes to pee before Hood in the Encore. So that's what was nice, right there. So yeah.
And
then Hood. Wait, I was going to say, did we even talk about Hood? I was just going to say Hood does its thing. Hood is a great closer. Right. Hood is always a Hood. It's like an antelope in my book. It can never do no wrong. 15 minutes is perfect Hood to me. Bliss is always. I felt like
Bliss. It had a little extra from section 2 to section 3.
It did.
So that was good.
That was good. And it had a little bit extra expanded jam on it to get it to that 15, which I always like. But God, it's such a beautiful, that Bliss moment in Hood is just the best. It's not a show without a Kev bad take, I'll tell you that, right? Like, I mean, we gotta have those. So yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Were you weird with that, with the Phil Lesh little video thing?
Nah, yeah, I mean, it was a little odd. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna complain about it or anything, but yeah,
holographic Phil.
LOL.
Are they like hinting towards something? We're gonna have holographic Phil in this next summer for the 60th.
Great, just what we need. Can we get a holographic Jerry in there too? Then, like, just
we're getting the band back together.
We're getting the band back together for the 60th, one way or another.
Oh, damn it! So strange. Golgi, another one of those that is PHiSH. It's the classic thing. They has the little jazz vamp section in the middle of a goofy song about buying concert tickets.
Yeah, I'll take a Golgi any day of the week, anywhere to close a set. It's right there with Fluffhead as far as the best song with the white lights moments. Like it rips, and yeah, it's 1.0 PHiSH at its finest. Like 5 minutes is a little short. Like I prefer when it rips a little bit, but 5 minutes is 5 minutes of Golgi. That's what you get. It's perfect, and you're getting something after it because it's like that. That's why it works in the encore, because you get.
Oh, it was right at It was right at 11:30. I was like, "Is it a one songer?" Skunky, they showed a video. They brought out a screen and showed a video of Phil thanking the audience, saying we couldn't do it together and saying become an organ donor. And it was just a little weird having a projection of Phil on the stage. It wasn't like even a huge screen.
It's I prefer my donor raps as the donor.
Oh, wait a minute. Chuck says that it didn't happen there. Maybe it was just the people on the stream who did it.
Oh, maybe it was like how at intermission they do the Divided Sky video for us at home, which is something cool. Like, so maybe. And also, I asked this in the Discord and someone responded, because I wasn't really paying super attention to the stream. I was listening to it, but not watching as much. But I noticed Fishman's dress tonight had the Divided Sky logo thing on it, which was cool. That was really fun. It was a little different. Like, it was a little shocking at first. I was like, what is on there? I can't tell. And then somebody was like, I think it's Divided Sky. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. That makes sense. So that was cool.
Yeah, Chuck, I guess it was just the stream that they were doing that. I thought it was very strange. I was like,
like, what's happening? Yeah.
What is this?
And then Slave.
Anyway, all right, Slave, there's your encore. Be careful. They said they were setting up checkpoints, so the hog crankers were going to be
The hog
out.
crankers, man. People, yeah, be careful out there. And a Golgi slave is a fantastic way to end a show. Like
Right.
that's a fish ending to me. That is a fantastic encore. It was a great Saturday night show. I'm sure everybody in attendance had an absolute blast. Got your money's worth for sure. And they sounded great. I think it did elevate from last night's show into tonight, which is awesome to see. Nothing super long. Again, no 20-minute jam, nothing that got too deep, compact, smaller jams, some good breakdowns in there. Fuego, What's the Use was definitely the highlight, I think, in both of our opinions. And let's see what happens tomorrow night, right? Like Sunday night, Divided Sky Foundation show. Like, let's see what they do to bring it home. I'm excited.
Right. I'm glad that shit wasn't real. That's all I'll say about that. Because I was really creeped out about the whole damn thing.
Really? Like, yeah, it really hit you, huh? You really weren't ready for it.
No,
it's funny when shit like that happens. So, but that's cool. Go ahead, close us out.
Yeah, we're out of here. Like, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow night.
See y'all. Have a good Saturday night and a good Sunday watching football, y'all.